Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Operation 2 video. That is the White Rider, and yeah, it's going to be, I believe this is like the first match I did with the White Rider, and I'm playing with Honey on Desert 450, and yeah, this is literally, like I said, the first match, because that's like the only video I've gotten recorded, because if you guys haven't noticed, I've been doing a lot of streams lately, because I haven't been having the time to do videos lately, but I did record this one because I did I liked how the way it ended, and I wanted to definitely make this a video. It was going to be an initial thoughts video, but of course we got discussion stream instead, and I like the ending because we actually kind of helped clutch out the game. But the White Rider itself, yeah. So between the Black Rider and the White Rider, the Black Rider is definitely the more interesting and just the better suit. And you'll see, I'm definitely going to be making a lot of interesting plays here. First time playing the suit, but yeah, this thing's not going to last against Sidolfer. Especially in a 2v1 that's going to happen here. But yeah, the Black Rider is definitely interesting suit. I'm gonna have to make a video on that separately because I think it's actually just a really nice suit to play, and I think a lot of raid players would like it, or Pixie players too. You know, people like to play stealth, even though it has jamming. But very interesting suit. But the White Rider, a lot of people said it's pretty gutted from Code Fairy, and I have to agree. Playing this, if you guys don't know. The Black Rider and the White Rider lost a few things coming over to GBO2, but the White Rider, they literally, as I mentioned before, like they just took it out into the desert and just stabbed that motherfucker to death. They let his Viscera see the day of light, right? It had, which I know, it had shock dampeners in Code Fairy, which I didn't think they would keep because that would be insane. So they got rid of the shock dampeners, but it also had a weapon that's missing in GBO2. It had the stun missiles that came from the Shikina, I believe it's called, and they'd stun as well as another stun option for the suit, and it also could do dodge rolls when it activates Zeus. If you guys don't know, in GBO2, if you activate your Zeus, all it does is it repairs your legs, but it also gives you force injectors. And the only thing it does, it makes your 20-second charge time on your Mega Beam Launcher into, I believe, like 6 seconds, which is pretty good, but it also increases your range strength, but that's it. It doesn't really help you defensive-wise. You can use it to, I think I use it here, where to prevent myself from getting knocked down, which is nice, but not as useful as, like, the Red Riders, which helps with your melee, and you can almost 3-hit supports with this melee. Just downswing into the anchor, or I guess you can call it the heat rod, into another downswing. Yeah, almost kills supports. Yeah, so, but the White Rider does have some good things about it. Like, it does have the grenade launcher, which is a instant stun. You have 3 shots. Of course, you have to like wait in between shots, and this thing does have balancers and melee combo controller and a really nice downswing. You'll see me use it to follow up on teammates when they knock down somebody or they get their own downswing combo off, right? Which is a lot better than some suits like the Stamen. Like the Stamen will just downswing its whole team trying to get one downswing off on somebody laying on the ground, right? And it can also combo into itself. You can get 2 downswings off in a row. It's nice if you build up the melee on it, you can do nice melee damage. Like I think on that suit I just downswung, it was like 4,000 damage. So if you can get 2 of those off, that's 8,000. That's pretty nice. And of course, the Mega Launcher, it's a meme beam that takes 20 seconds to ready up, but it does do a lot of damage if you can hit it. Unfortunately, it has a really long recharge time, and if you do your Zeus ability, it does not increase that over. It doesn't decrease the overheat time, right? So there's some things about this suit that's pretty good, but it's very limited weapon-wise. It's almost it takes the term support just way too literally, where it doesn't have a chance to stand on its own unless it has to get like the first shot. But there's a lot of suits at 450, and if you're playing at 500, definitely at 500, that kind of just have this suit beat. Suits with maneuver armor, you really don't have an option against. And that includes the generals, unless they're far enough away where you can get your 275 range Gatling gun to hit them along with your grenade launcher, right? Um, and of course, if you're just fighting a raid, yeah, good luck. They're gonna melee you to death. They need one stun and you're dead, and you need like all your stuns to try to get damage off. Against them, but against generals, if you can get the drop on general, it's pretty good. Pretty nice damaging weapon, or nice damaging weapons. But again, you really have to. It almost like throwing the dice out into a field and seeing what you get. You gotta rely on what your teammates are doing and what the enemy team is doing. Kind of like with the majority of supports, but there's still some supports that you can kind of do well with. Of course, I've mentioned before the Zusa, the full armor Haikushiki. You can even say like the Hama Hama. The Hama Hama has a better chance with its instant stuns, its stun accumulation. It also has the mines just in case, which. The Hama Hama is its own little thing. There's still some problems with that suit, but I think I'd probably pick, like, if I had to pick a close range support, which this suit is definitely a close range support. The Mega Beam Launcher is 500 range, but everything else is 300 and below on this suit. Hey, it's nice damage. But yeah, I'd definitely pick the Hama Hama. And then the G-Line full custom, and then this suit. If we count the Jammer Fin would be my number one melee suit. But yeah, so there's some suits like, as I mentioned, the Zusa or the Hama Hama, Jamru Fin, Full Armor Haikushiki, that have chances to stick out in a match. The White Rider, not so much. You really have to rely on your teammate helping you out against some of these suits at 450, especially with some of the high damage output they can do, or how better they can be at melee than you, like let's say the Gabaldi Beta. All it has to do is just hit you and instant like frame one downswing, you're down and you lose a lot of health, right? But yeah, like right here, like we're doing pretty well. I'm helping out with the team up here, and we're gonna do something here. I believe it's almost the last minute of the match, and I'm going to activate my Zeus here in a second after we help kill off the Nero trainer, and it's gonna be really helpful because I actually use it to help clutch out a situation here. Where, if you remember me saying earlier that the Zeus Cannon will make your Mega Beam Launcher take less time to charge, I will charge it up, and there's going to be a Jawaj custom that comes up, and he's going to get countered, and we use that to do a lot of damage on him, and then he's going to die afterwards. And then I believe I help get another kill to help finish off the match and help us win, because I believe even when we killed the Jawaj custom, the enemy team got another kill to get ahead. But yeah, there's a Jawaj custom down on the ground. Yeah, blast that motherfucker to pieces. 11k, and yeah, he's dead. Now the enemy team has to push us because we're ahead, and I do believe they get a kill, and I have to quickly get a kill here in a second. And this thing does have 55 seconds on it, the Zeus exam, and it does break all of your parts whenever it gets done. Yep, there's our kill, and I believe the rest of these 10 seconds, not much is really going to happen. I think I get teamed up on, but it's a support. You're going to get teamed up on. But yeah, that's the end of the mission there. Timeout. Good work all around. It's a pretty nice first match when I realized what happened. And hey, mission completed. Let's see what we got going on here. And hey, top individual and top damage. Nice. Going to praise Honey, and I believe I'm going to praise the Raid here because he did really well. He got top assist. And again, the Black Rider, I think, it has potential to be a really just amazing suit. And hey, first place, 7-2, so not too bad at all. And every match after that has kind of been a gamble, as I mentioned before. So there are some situations. I've mentioned this before in both the spectator matches and in my thoughts, the initial thoughts stream for this suit and the Black Rider is that I think the White Rider can do really well in certain situations, but it really relies on what the team is doing and what the enemy team is doing, because you can get dogged on really easily because of how close range your weapons are, and if you miss that Mega Beam Launcher, then you are going to have to go get close for your weapons there. And there's some suits that they have maneuver armor. They're going to ignore your shit. They're going to ignore your stuns. Or I say your stun because you only have one, the grenade launcher. I don't know why they removed the other stun, the missile stun. And honestly, just the whole White Rider business, it just shows that the devs just have... there's something that that supports can't have moving into a multiplayer game like GBO2 from Code Fairy. It's really strange. Actually, I think the one suit they did carry over, another support they carried over, the Nomades. Oh, and there's another suit too. The sniper that Helena uses, that Zaku Recon sniper. They remain relatively unchanged, but they didn't really have anything too major going on with them, right? One's a typical sniper, which the devs don't really change too much about snipers anyway. Like, if they're a sniper suit, then they might just keep whatever they're going to have, right? And one, is your shoulder cannon suit with the Nomades. But the Nomades actually, I'm surprised they made the Nomades the way they did, with it having the chance to have high melee resistance. That's also because it's a really giant suit, and I guess that's their reasoning, is that the Nomades is such a massive target that it might as well give it high melee resistance, right? And it actually helps out a lot for that suit, and it makes some people like raids have to think in comboing you besides just downswing and then having it do like 2,000 damage and does nothing to you, right? Although heavy attack still work, but but then you have the White Rider here, which obviously they weren't going to keep the shock dampeners, and I didn't want them to for this game because I think that would be a little bit too powerful, but it removes one of its weapons. They changed the Mega Beam Launcher from being like a continuous beam into being an instant just meme beam that takes forever to charge, and they removed the dodge rolls that it had, which honestly would have really helped out for this suit in his game plan of being a close range supporting support, or supporting suit, I should say. Instead, you just get force injectors, you repair your legs, and you get to charge your beam faster. You do a little bit more range damage, which is all fine, but it just suffers trying to do its job at the range that it has. So I think they should buff this suit at some point. I think if they're not gonna give it its if they want to bring back its missiles, I think they should bring back the missiles, and I think they should give it a dodge roll. But if they don't want to add anything new, I think they should up the range on the Gatling gun and the... Actually, I think the grenade launcher is fine with 300, but I think they should definitely up the range on the Gatling gun, being 275. Just buff that up at least, so it can have a better mid-range presence. Maybe make the ASO a little bit better on it, so that way you can get like more consistent hits in. That way you can kind of melt some people going in close, then proceed to try and do its grenade launcher into stuns. But yeah, having watched this suit for the past week, usually because whenever I make a initial thoughts, they're initial thoughts, and I always say something like, oh, we'll have to wait and see how the suit does. And sometimes I'm wrong about how a suit is. I don't think it's that good. It turns out it's actually pretty good, or I think the suit's pretty all right. And turns out it's like, yeah, it's okay. This suit, yeah, seeing a lot of people play it. A lot of the sentiment is the same. Sentiment? Yeah, sentiment is same for this suit, of how yeah, they just completely gutted it, and it's a real shame too, because there are some nice ideas in this suit, or at least they could have made this suit unique. But yeah, that's going to be it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And type up in the comment section how you feel about the White Rider. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Appearance wise, you guys already know the answer. I don't like this suit's appearances at all. It looks like it's from a Gunpla show. And I really hate the crown on it. I don't care what reasoning they give. It looks really stupid. But gameplay wise, it's interesting to say the least. I do like the downswing, the Gabera Tetra downswing. I like it has a melee presence, and it can do a lot of damage. It can help out in those close range battles. But using it on some maps like Port Base, or I would say even Arctic Base, that's a little bit too close range, right? It can be tough. Again, it's like rolling the dice with this suit. Actually, I've seen that term being used a lot too. It's either rolling the dice or praying. That I've seen a lot of people say for this suit. I'm gonna go with rolling the dice at least. It just relies on what your team and the enemy team is doing, and it doesn't have too many chances to shine on its own unless you're trying to use the meme beam. But yeah, hopefully they buff it a little bit, and yeah, that'll be it. And I will see you guys later. Bye.